Okay, hello. 6/14/2013, 7:12 p.m. My name is Oleg. Let's see what I can talk about, because there's a great deal that I cannot talk about. So, let's say this. If, I said this before, um, if you find a problem in the world, wherever you are, um, often people or yourself or me or whoever, when they do come across a problem, they think to themselves, somebody will take care of it. Somebody will fix it. Whatever, it's not my problem. Somebody else will do it. Um, Not all the time, but sometimes the truth in that discovery is that there's going to be nobody else. There's going to be nobody else that's going to stumble upon that problem or stumble upon this and do that and that. Um, and I think it's very important for whoever to whoever might find their own problem somewhere wherever you are on the planet, because it's so big. There's so many countries in the world. It's so big, um, that you feel, uh, that in some essence I would encourage you to pursue the solving of the problem and not discourage you or tell you that, "Oh, don't worry about it." But with reason, with reason and good exercise of judgment. Um, with reason. That's today people very very crazy sometimes. Um, just all over the planet, people, I guess, they're very extreme. They're very like, um, so don't fall into that pit. Like don't fall into this little extreme tunnel vision or this persistence in something without taking the critique of others around you, because um, it's not always about your way or about what you want to do. It should, mm, it should be about what you want to do. That's the way it's supposed to be. But you need to regard and respect other people around you as well. Uh, if that makes any sense. But not to confuse you about your relationship or the relationship between you and your government. Um, you know, you can't, you cannot let your government just do whatever the fuck it wants to do. Pardon my vulgarity. Um, it doesn't work that way. It crumbles. It will crumble that way. It will crumble as a result of that. Um, there's governments are instituted among people, not the other way around. In some places in the world, it's still that way, where a government exists only for the benefit of itself and not of the people. Although, not to confuse, or there are people, even in America, who feel that way. But feeling that way and being bitter about it and talking to your friends about it or whatever doesn't really solve the problem. All you're doing is just venting about it, which is okay. It's a good idea to vent about the problem. But to solve the problem, one must go in there. Um, to however way. There is no map or blueprint. Well, I guess I could write you one, but you need to make that discovery yourself, because then all it becomes is, I mean, it could just very well just simply become a dictatorship. People need to, upon themselves, understand what's around them and understand the world their own way, and using that information and using that um, the experience and the five senses. There are five senses of a human body. You have the nose, which you can smell. You have the mouth, of which you can taste. You have the ears that you can hear. You have the eyes, of which you can see. And then you have the sense of touch. Um, and that's a very important thing for to understand. When it's an important thing to understand, because a lot of people don't understand that, and understanding that is a very self-evident, natural thing. Subtract everything from your life: your clothing, what you wear here, your this, what you're watching, all these possessions. Go into a forest by yourself and stand there naked if you need to, and you will possibly, hopefully, come to that understanding. Um, and there are five questions of which you need to always be aware of before you get yourself involved with anything, or just in general. It's a very good rule of thumb in life to have this understanding of these five questions. Whatever you do in life, whatever you do, you ask the question of what, you ask the question of where, you ask the question of when, you ask the question of how, and sometimes you ask the question of why. Now, asking the question of why oftentimes can lead a person into a state of just asking why and why and why and why and why and why and why. And that's one of the pitfalls, I believe, in, I guess, understanding philosophy. It's a pitfall people can find themselves. You start asking the question of why and why and why and why, and eventually nothing gets done. This is why often, in just generally speaking, historically, and philosophers have been the type of people who have generally nothing very much has been accomplished in their lives as a result of just simply being a philosopher. So, and in this day and age, it's very important to have multiple skill sets and multiple areas of aptitude or competence that you're attempting to master, because what you need to do in life, or at least my advice to anybody who watches this in life, is you need to find a craft or a trade. You need some sort of a skill. I'm sorry, back up a little bit. You need to find a craft or a trade. So if you decide to become, and you need to master that craft or trade. So for instance, if you decide you want to be a doctor, you need to be the best doctor in the world. If you decide you want to be a salesman, person who sells, a merchant, let's say, you need to be the best one, etc. And this type of thing could be applied to almost every single possible profession or vocation or career or whatever you want to call it. Um, Confucius, a Chinese philosopher, once said a very interesting, I believe this is a Chinese philosopher or of the region of China, said a very interesting, had a very interesting quote or saying. Um, Find what you love to do, and you will never work a day in your life. So if you love what you do, are you really working? Because you're doing what you love. So even though you're working, and you're making money doing what you love to do. So find that in your life. Um, what else did I want to say? I came across somebody, and he shared, and the person shared something very interesting to me. Um, Being a salesman or a saleswoman is one of the oldest, most profitable professions in the world. Still is today, as it once was years ago, centuries ago. Um, so this person identified to me as a salesman, and he shared something very interesting. So in the modern day age of today, of 2013, uh, oftentimes as a salesperson or salesperson, let's use the word salesperson because um, we need to accept um, women as equals, even though in a lot of places they are still not. So we still need to strive and try and do that. Okay, so because it's year 2013 and the way that everything is today, oftentimes as a salesperson, you will be waiting to meet a potential um, client or customer or buyer. And let's say you need to meet somebody at 2 p.m. Um, we have this thing called AM and PM. I don't really understand it, but it's there. Um, PM. So you get to where you need to go at 2 p.m. And the person you need to meet, who's going to be potentially buying something off you, arrives at 3 p.m. Now you're the salesperson, and that is the potential customer, client, whatever. Um, they will maybe, if they're a decent person, they will say, "Oh, I'm so sorry I arrived late. I blah 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 blah." Now you've been waiting for 1 hour. You might be getting stressed out. You might be feeling upset or whatever. But as a salesperson, you can never reveal weakness or blah 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 blah, any of that nonsense. So what you can say to really make it nice, you can say, "Oh, I'm early. You're not late," and that makes the person feel better uh, because they're already stressed out with all the nonsense that they're involved in. Um, so, um, mm, mm. If anybody wishes to send messages of any kind, you have to be careful about contacting me. I just say, yeah, the NSA, we have this nonsense of a federal agency by the name of NSA, National Security Agency. So let's just say that's the problem. Um, so, um, oh, I'm gonna protest this Sunday, so I will make another video. I know there's been a delay in what I've been doing here because here I attempt to to document. And in the absence of me, I was creating, or yes. Um, so it's a difficult thing to do when you have to create and you also have to document. So there's two things happening here. Um, hmm, hmm. Very interesting thing I came across that somebody has. Hmm. Listen. Um, it's impossible, said pride. It's risky, said experience. It's pointless, said reason. Give it a try, whispered the heart. It's very nice. I'll put that in my description, so it's there. I've been growing more facial hair recently. I've been noticing, and I believe I've been losing weight. I've been attempting to exercise by swimming, and I've been very mobile, and I've been watching what I eat more closely. I watch what I eat very, very closely. Um, it's mm, 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 mm. My hair has gotten quite long at this point, and I can do a lot of creative different. I can do a lot of interesting things with my hair now, and I can keep it like. Let's see. I'll show you something interesting I can do with it. Yeah, like something like that is interesting. So it's really interesting if you're a guy these days, you should really grow out your hair, or if you're a male, whatever, if you have the opportunity, because at some point in your life, generally speaking, this is, I guess, not really a stereotype, but it's something that plagues the male race, not explicitly, but yeah, explicitly. I mean, no, wrong word. People get bald, they lose their hair when you get older. And I try to, when I can, tell girls who have long hair or have hair to shave all their hair so they could feel the scalp. It's such a thing when I did a couple of years ago when I didn't have any hair, and it's there's such a sensation to it that that's only understood by people who've done it, and I mean it's your body, and you only get one. You know, you only get one life in life. You only get one life in life. So do the best you can with yours. Um, just that's all that there is to it. Um, you make your own adventure. Um, you know. Oftentimes, a lot of people I've seen a lot of people over the months. I've met some people, but I watched a lot of people over the months that I haven't made a video talking about something. Um, they succumb to some sort of you know um, bullying, I guess, as adults as well. So we have this. There's this movement. There are many movements, um, but there's this movement, all around us, about being nice to people and not being a bully to people and not being mean to people and being cruel to people, even though sometimes there is that happens in life. People are mean or cruel to you, and you have to not let it affect you. You have to um, You know, you have to be strong and you have to persevere through it. You know, through all of it. I mean, it's a test on you. Look at it that way. It's a test on you. You know, I came across this. If anybody's ever seen, I think the last movie of the Rocky Balboa, he makes a very interesting point. I think to his son or to someone else, where it's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep pushing forward. How hard you can get hit and keep pushing forward. So it's not about who can land the strongest punch. It's about who can take the strongest punch and keep moving forward. And that's what you need to keep doing in life. You always have to keep moving forward and forward and forward, one foot after the other. Repetition, 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 repetition. And it's a very good thing. Um, mm, but don't forget about other people that can't come to that understanding or they can't come to that point. You know, there's so many, you know, if you do come to that, there are a lot of people who need help. You know, I think there's a lot of cruelty, there's a lot of war, and there's a lot of unfairness and a lot of etc. in the world, and it's up to you sometimes to actually do something about that. It's up to you because there's nobody else. If you come to that, there's nobody else who's going to come to that. Um, um, I guess that's that. But when I'm tired, I want to listen to some music. I like listening to music. Um, hmm, request. If anybody knows any interesting songs um, that are mm, interesting songs and where you see that there is an emotional connection between the person who either wrote the song, the lyrics to the song, or the to the vocalist who is singing the song, or if it's some sort of an electronic song, more like a piano beat or a violin or purely something off the computer, for instance, like trance or techno. That would be cool. I would like that if you know some other ones, because I have plenty on my favorites tab on my YouTube channel. There's a lot of great videos that I have that I've been collecting over the years on there, and I don't know how to necessarily make it a public thing where people can see what I have on my favorites. Uh, I haven't figured that out, and they keep changing stuff on Google and YouTube, and I don't really have the time to sit here and figure it all out. As you can see behind me, I still have boxes that I haven't really done anything with because I've been quite honestly preoccupied with some of the things that I've been doing. Um, and I understand. I know I had this thing with this that you know, I made a very I was very adamant um, about replying to everybody who would ever make any type of message to me in any video, regardless of the content of the video. Uh, so I need to do that at some point. It's on my to-do list. I have a very big to-do list. It's There's a lot of stuff on it. So that's that. So if you feel like you need some type of advice as well, just feel free to reach out. Um, in a private message. I'm gonna be going now. It's gonna be 25 minutes exactly. Da da da. Um, and borrowing from a journalist that I came across. He was doing some videos of something and putting it up on YouTube. And he would always end the videos very interesting and with saying, "Till next time." And it's a very interesting how he did that. Not that how he did it, but that he was doing that. Um, it's very important to always be learning from people and from everything around you. There needs to be a you need to be continuously learning and evolving, and not necessarily, I hate to, maybe I should not have used that word evolving, but always learning and learning and learning and learning, because given the circumstances of today, uh, there's a lot of bleakness in the world. So, till next time, probably Sunday, I will be protesting. It's something, hopefully, I need to actually go and get something printed out. I'm not sure how it's going to look. So, hopefully, it'll look good. And, all right, till next time.